What up, y'all? Better Up Science back in the building, man. Man, we finna talk a little bit about Monster versus Drugz, man. I like that battle. It was a dope battle. I was there live and I watched it back. They just dropped it. So y'all check that out. It's on the Riot. If you get a chance to watch Monster versus Drugz. Um, I had Monster winning. I said 2-1. Drugz came out the gate fire. He came out the gate with a lot of dope bars, a lot of energy as always. He was cooking. He was cooking, man. Let me see. I got a little picture that I can pull up here, and I'll explain how I came up with this or why for people who may be confused about it. Let's see. Give me just a second. There you go, right there. So I did a little scorecard type deal. I actually scored every single line that they said basically. And so for every punch that they had, or pretty much every bar that they had, I gave it a score. So one for just simple, easy, always we've heard those a million times punches. I even gave those a 1 point score. For things that were a little bit more creative, but maybe wasn't direct to the opponent, I gave them a 2. And then the punches that were what I call 3-layer punches, creative, direct, and then had impact to the opponent, I gave them a 3. And so these are pretty much a 3 from each round. So Drugz went first. Drugz, I gave him 23 points in his first round. I felt like this was his strongest round. He did have a little pause in the beginning of that. So based on how you rate that, you could take away points for that. I didn't on here. His best line that I had rated in the first was "I didn't fly, I rode with it." Toe tagging, pole clapping, Papa Monster, Joe Jackson. I thought that was fire. It broke the building there too. And so then Monster went. Monster had a solid round. Y'all know what Monster finna come with, a lot of energy. He's a better writer than people actually give him credit for. And what I'm finding is a lot of his bars go under the radar because they're not expecting it to be that creative. Because he may use some of the same reference or concepts that we've heard, but he uses them in different ways that we haven't thought about. And a lot of times when you hear it, you think you know what he's saying, and it's like, oh, we heard that before. But then it's an underlying meaning of like, wait a minute, no, we didn't hear it like that before. So you got to watch out for Monster with that. But in his first round, I had him. He said, I ain't gonna lie, that Klutz Rod Strickland line kind of cool, but I can make my op a bar. But I can make any op a bar. I'm Majin Buu. So if y'all don't know, Majin Buu is a character from Dragon Ball Z, where he actually turned his enemies into things and turned them into bars and stuff like that. So physical bars. But either way, I had Monster losing that round. From the score. And so then in the second round, Drugz went. Drugz was snapping in his second round. So whenever you look at this and you see a low score, it's not because he wasn't doing good. He did excellent. Actually, if you look at the score per line, this is actually a higher score per line than any other Drugz round. Only thing is, this was his shortest round. And so he didn't get a chance to accumulate as many points as he would have if he had kept going. But the round was fire. I ain't gonna hold you. I even told Monster, I said, look, bro, he was cooking you in his second round, but it just wasn't as long. So I felt, Monster had more material, so he was able to accumulate more points. One of the bars that I wrote from his second say, take it from a vet or they will never again call you. And that will be crazy if the loudest nigga in the room never get a volume. That was fire. One of the main things that made this round so fire from Drugz is he tailored it all towards Monster. Like, it wasn't no just Monster flips or just, word association. He was talking about Monster's career the whole round and landing punches off of it, which is very impactful. He had quite a few 3-level punches in this round. Needless to say, Monster, I had from the score Monster winning this round. One of his top bars I put, I don't care about that Lyft drive home. That shit be boring. I got something every Uber driver hates. A loaded Taurus. Fire. Crazy. It's impactful to Drugz because he's mentioning the Lyft ride home, even though it doesn't it doesn't affect his character in a whole because he says he don't care about it. But the loaded Taurus, come on, bro, that's crazy. Loaded Taurus like the gun, and then a loaded Taurus like you know somebody running around in the town sightseeing. Then you can even push it to the triple if you want to say a loaded Taurus like the sign. You know, I'm not really a researcher of astrology and stuff like that. Other people could probably tell me, do are Tauruses more you know bad if they get loaded or whatever, but that could be a triple if he wanted to take it there. But yeah, Monster just had a lot of material in this second, so the scoring, it adds up. That's why in tournaments or judge battles or something like that, it's good to have a timekeeper or somebody to ensure that the amount of material that is displayed, it matches up. Either way, in the third round, Drugz finished it off. I felt like in this round you can tell he kind of maybe had ran out of steam. It wasn't bad. He was good all throughout. That's because his delivery was up, his projection was up, he was executing at a high level. But just with the creativity, this is where I wrote down: give Drugz the drugs, or you might get hurt. Then scoop the grams off the floor like life alert, which was dope. I liked it. It hit in the building. And then in the third round, Monsta say, "Every nigga you see me with, a shooter like Meg the Stallion." That was a fire one because you have to think about that. A lot of times, even me, when I first thought about it, I'm like, every nigga you see me with a shooter like Meg the Stallion, you talking about Tory? And then, oh yeah, Klay Thompson. And so that's a different spin on the Meg the Stallion thing because it incorporates her history. But another solid round. He was consistent. Monster was consistent with all of his rounds, so I gave him a 21 in this one. And so that's how the scoring broke down. Monster versus Drugz. Y'all could go watch that. Definitely a dope battle. But yeah, man. Looking for more. Looking for more dope battles. I can't wait till Monster versus Muwap drops. That's gonna drop on the URL app. And so I've been seeing. It looks like they've been dropping one a day. And I'm interested to see that Muwap battle. So I'll let your boy, man. Battle Rap Science, Mega Man in the building.